Tepu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Harun Nefer. This is Qesankh Keperu with another exciting video. And in this video, we're going to talk about your stolen legacy. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, hit the subscribe bell to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. If you want to know more about my spiritual teachings, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. It's up to you. There's no obligation and you can cancel at any time. As a subscriber, you'll get exclusive access to instructional videos on the esoteric, on the spiritual, videos that'll teach you how to meditate, how to properly do breathing exercises to calm yourself, how to put together a magical amulet, how to do a proper ritual, how to contact the ancestors. You'll also find up there all of my ebooks, and they're yours as a subscriber. You can just download them, start reading them. We also have a special video series. One of the video series that we do have is on, past legacy trauma, ancestral trauma, how to get rid of that. And we also have different mantras for you. Mantras that will help you attract love, help you increase your finances, and so much more. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so that we can get the revolution started. So, Harun Nefer, how are you? I wanted to do this video because I was, every now and then I peruse the internet and to kind of get a gauge of where we're at as a people. And, if I'm perusing the internet, trying to understand us as a people, you can bet that the government and the shadow agencies, the, Tavistock, if you don't know who Tavistock is, those are think tank institutions that control social engineering. They're looking at us and studying us. And what you'll see is that we are basically a defeated people. We are under the guise of white supremacy. We are ruled by it. And this is a global phenomenon. If you want to know what caused it, where it came from, you can check out my previous video on the subject. But, what you'll find a lot on the social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube, Instagram, is a lot of foolishness from our people. I remember when the internet when it first dawned, I was thinking, wow, we're gonna pull together, we're gonna start creating these online organizations to help communicate and free our people. But what I noticed is if we're not engaged in foolishness, we're fighting each other online for the world to see. And that's not good. It's definitely not good. When I think about where we're at as a people, you have to also take in consideration that our behavior is a product of white supremacy. This is not naturally who we are as a people, but because of what has been done to us, we are dysfunctional. And say what you will, one of the reasons why the government is so reluctant to give us reparations is because, I've always said this, is because they don't want us to be here in the future. You can see this by the science fiction movies they've made, where we're not a part of their vision for the future. And we are in a dangerous situation because we are not only a defeated people, but we have the cabal, the ruling elite, actively engaged in coming up with plans to eliminate us from the face of the earth. This is not conspiracy talk. This is real. Check out the Tuskegee experiments. That was my ferret that just walked by. And with that understanding that these people don't want us here, the cabal, all of our efforts should be on coming up with countermeasures to white supremacy. However, instead, we are engaged in a lot of foolishness, celebratory things like rap, dancing, sports, as if we have made great strides. Now, yes, in certain areas we have, but as a whole, we haven't. And we won't. Going back to what I was saying about reparations, to give us reparations would help us deal with what has happened during slavery, the dysfunction, the trauma we carry from our ancestors in the Middle Passage, from Jim Crow. To give us reparations would ensure that we would address those things. And that's something they don't want us to do. This is why they're so reluctant to provide reparations. And they've done everything they can to sideline the argument. Things such as bringing up other minority groups and their issues, so that they can put our issue on the peripheral. Case in point, the alphabet community, the transgender community, has usurped our needs and concerns. And most recently with immigration, giving them money, housing, when all along we have been in this country and we built this country, and we're not allowed to participate in the fruits of our labor. So, to give us reparations would not only address the great injustice that was done to us, but it would help us in terms of building healthcare institutions to deal with our dysfunctionalism, to bring us back to a well-balanced people. They don't want that, though. But here's the issue that I have. You want to say hi? Oh, you like, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Thank you. But here's the main issue. We as a people are not acting in accordance to what we're dealing with. You see, instead of us coming together and coming up with countermeasures, we are engaged in hip-hop, rap, sports, and that has become the lion's share of our existence. We're not dealing with this situation properly. Case in point, because we're dysfunctional people, there's a lot of mental illness in the black community that we have yet to admit. We're hiding it, and we're involved in coping mechanisms such as the going to church every Sunday, praying to a white savior. What has been done to us is so horrific in terms of lynchings, castration, beatings, that our sole purpose in this life should be to make those accountable who have participated in this travesty, and to ensure that we're compensated for what we've been through. However, instead of doing that, we have thrown away our great legacy. To participate in the oppressor's culture, ideology. Christianity is responsible for slavery. It was used as a means to enslave us. And instead of recognizing that, we go to the minister, the preacher. We give our money to them. We give our devotion to them. We pray to their God. We are a people who come from a magnificent legacy. We built the pyramids. We created civilization. We are the first Adam and Eve. These white supremacists have lied to us throughout the years as if they are the most moral and upright of people. They are dysfunctional. They have sinned against God. And I say again, our entire existence should be to hold them accountable for what they have done. But instead of doing that, we're so infatuated with sports and music and hip hop and their religion. You want to know how dysfunctional we are? There's no other religion out there that has created the pyramids. We did that. Yet, what do? We go to a Christian church and pray to their God. We celebrate their religion. Our ancestors created civilization. We didn't have serial killers or pedophiles. We don't come from that heritage. They do. Our civilization was built upon Ma'at, and most Egyptologists will agree that ancient Egypt was one of the most morally upright civilizations the world has ever seen. This is why Everybody's going there to claim it's their legacy. White people, first it was white people saying, yes, we were the original Egyptians. Now you have the Arabs in Egypt claiming that they come from, that their ancestors were the ancient Egyptians. They're not. The Arabs, the Muslims, enslaved us. They are not the original Egyptians. We are. So some of us recognize that, Christianity, Catholicism are not our religions. So then we gravitate toward the Islamic religion, Islam, as if we're doing something to counteract racism. And we get all high and mighty, and then before you know it, everybody's naming themselves after Muhammad. When I went to the mosque on 125th Street in New York, I was surprised, because I sat there to audit a session, how everybody was named Muhammad. Knowing full well that Islam is a plagiarized version of Christianity. Muhammad committed atrocities. If you did not subscribe to Islam, you would be murdered. He went on a campaign, and all people who were not Muslims were fair game to murder, to subjugate. Yet black people migrate to that religion as if they're now, and they get their egos get out of control because they think they're better than the Christians, they're better than everybody else. But they're not. They become more fanatical. And no better than the Christians who enslaved us. I'm going to say it again. Everybody is racing to claim the legacy of ancient Egypt, to the point now where the Egyptian government is actively harassing, attacking black people for saying that we are the original Egyptians. The facts are there. When you look at the Metunet, to the hieroglyphics, they are dark-skinned people. There's no doubt about it. Stevie Wonder could see it. But the problem that we have is we allow these people to take our legacy. We allow them to steal from us. Instead of us foregoing the Christian religion and going back to ancient Kemet and practicing that spiritual tradition, instead of us doing that, we go everywhere except back to who we are. We become Muslims. We become Christians. And we're proud of it. And we're so proud of it. The reason that we're in the condition we're in today is that we have no one else to blame but ourselves. Because we have financially supported them, morally supported them, and when I say them, our oppressors. When you go and you sit in that church on Sunday, you are betraying everything your ancestors worked so hard for. You want to know what dysfunctionalism looks like? Just look at how we're naming our children. Moesha, Shakisha, Laquisha, Latanya, Bomisha. These are ridiculous names. Ridiculousness. And instead of naming your children after the great kings and queens of Kemet, Egypt, you make up these ridiculous sounding names only to have the children walk around with these names and everybody knows they're from the ghetto. They're from a single parent household. Jawanda, Lamisha. Your ancestors, the great kings and queens, have a legacy. And instead of naming your children after them, such as you have the gods, Ma'at, Heteru, Hathor, Sekert, Queen T, Queen Hatshepsut, Nefertari, Imhotep, Ramses. I could go on. Those names are there, ready for you to take on, to express your celebration of our legacy of ancient Kemet, or Africa, Queen Nagiza. But instead, Laquandra. What is that? Those are made up, ridiculous names which basically telegraphs your dysfunctionalism, afraid to embrace your own legacy. Our ancestors are waiting for you to take on their name, their legacy, their heritage. And what do? You turn away from that. And you let our oppressors steal our religion. They're up there fighting to claim our legacy while we're turning away from it, acquiescing, giving it up. That's dysfunctionalism. And then we want to talk about how hip-hop is black culture. Hip-hop is not black culture. It has become a sickness. Because we're too concerned with whose team is going to win. What rapper is dating who? It's ridiculousness. Our legacy has been stolen because of us. We have no one to blame but ourselves. We have allowed them to come in and steal and take our religion. The Jews would never allow you to steal their religion and claim it as yours. They'll die before they allow that. but we'll easily give it up. And walk around calling ourselves Muhammad and think we're better than everybody. What has happened to us? Well, I can't blame us 100% because we're put in a very difficult situation to where we were robbed of everything. But now it's time to put the pieces back together, to get back on track and say, enough. We're not going to allow you to steal our religion. We're going to take it back. Years ago, when I started studying at what they call was Third World Alliance with Dr. Ben and Dr. Ben Jamakian, a well-known Egyptologist, and Dr. John Henry Clark, historian, I was happy because for the first time I was learning about the greatness of our culture. But now, flash forward to today, I realize that not many people know about Dr. Ben or Dr. Clark. But they know about Jay-Z. They know about 50 Cent. Go back and look at ancient Kemet. Look at those pyramids. Look at our religion. We come from a great people, a great civilization. So great of a civilization we come from that everybody wants to claim it as theirs except us. Stop celebrating the slave master's religion. Stop celebrating their ideology. Take back what is yours, the greatness of what is yours. There is so much richness there, so much love there that our ancestors gave us. Tune into those ancient kings and queens. Tune into our ancestors who sacrificed so much so that you could be here today. They're waiting for us to come back. They left their legacy for us written in stone in the Metuneta, in the pyramid walls. That religion, that spirituality, that way of life still exists. Let's go back to that. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. I really hope this message hits home and that it awakens something within you. If you get an opportunity, please donate to the channel. My Cash App is in the description box. This is Qesankh Ma Keperu, son of Ma'at and Tahuti. Ma'at is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next video, Amin Ra.